What if Anakin exposed Palpatine before turning to the dark side? Let's explore the depths of it in the video. One object. That's all it took. One glimpse of a Sith holocron sitting in the Supreme Chancellor's office. And everything Anakin Skywalker thought he knew shattered in an instant. The choice he makes in the next 60 seconds will determine the fate of the entire galaxy. This is how it happens. Anakin sits across from Chancellor Palpatine, desperate and afraid. He's been having visions, nightmares of Padme dying. His secret wife, pregnant with twins, taken from him, just like his mother. The Jedi Council offers no help, only platitudes about accepting death. But Palpatine, his friend and mentor, he always has answers. The Chancellor leans forward with that grandfatherly smile. Death is natural, he says. But there are ways to prevent it. Ancient ways. The Jedi fear to teach. He speaks of Darth Plagueis, a Sith Lord so powerful he could stop people from dying. And as he talks, Anakin's gaze drifts. There, on a pedestal in the shadows, a pyramid-shaped object pulsing with red light. A Sith holocron. Anakin's blood runs cold. His Jedi training kicks in. He extends his senses, and suddenly he feels it. The dark side. Everywhere. Saturating every surface of this office, this man, everything. How did he never notice before? The Supreme Chancellor of the Republic. His mentor for years. The man who's been pushing him toward the Jedi Council, isolating him from the other masters, feeding his doubts and fears. It's been manipulation. All of it. Every word of encouragement. Every moment of seeming friendship. A carefully constructed trap designed to turn him into a weapon. Palpatine is still talking about saving Padme, dangling salvation in front of him like bait. And Anakin realizes this is the moment. Right now. He can give in to fear and become whatever Palpatine wants him to be. Or he can do something the Sith Lord never expected. He can investigate. He can gather proof. He can expose the truth. Anakin makes his choice. He nods along, pretending to absorb Palpatine's words while his mind races. He thanks the Chancellor and leaves. But he doesn't go to beg for dark side knowledge. He goes to his wife, and together they begin to hunt the most dangerous man in the galaxy. This is the story of how one choice in one moment changed everything. How trusting your loved ones instead of isolating yourself can save the galaxy. How Anakin Skywalker faced the same temptation that destroyed him in another timeline, but this time chose differently. The nightmare begins earlier that morning. Anakin watches Padme die in his arms, her life slipping away as she gives birth to their children. He's dreamed this scene 3 times this week, each vision more vivid than the last. When he wakes, his wife sleeps peacefully beside him. But the dread lingers. The Force is warning him. He failed to save his mother. He won't fail again. He makes his way to Palpatine's office, seeking guidance. The Chancellor has always understood him when the Jedi Council only judged. But today will be different. Today, Anakin will see the truth. The Senate building towers above him as he enters, guards waving him through without question. He's been here countless times. But something feels different today. A warning he can't quite place. Palpatine's office is exactly as he remembers. Ornate, filled with artifacts from across the galaxy. And there, seated behind the massive desk, the Chancellor himself greets him with that warm smile. "Ah, young Skywalker, I sensed you would come. You seem troubled, my boy. Please, sit. Anakin takes his seat, and the words spill out. The visions. Someone he loves, dying. The fear consuming him. He doesn't say Padme's name, but Palpatine's eyes gleam with understanding. Death is a natural part of life, the Chancellor says. But there are ways, ancient ways, to prevent such tragedies. The Jedi wouldn't teach you these secrets. They fear knowledge. They fear power. And he begins to tell the story of Darth Plagueis the Wise. The Senate building towers above him, a massive structure that represents the power and authority of the Republic. He's been here countless times, but today, it feels different. The weight of his fear presses down on him like a physical thing. The guards at the entrance recognize him immediately and wave him through. General Skywalker. The Chancellor is expecting you. He wasn't aware he'd been expected, but that doesn't surprise him. Palpatine seems to know things before they happen, seems to sense his needs before Anakin voices them. It's one of the things that always made him feel understood. The turbolift carries him up to the executive level. The doors open, and Palpatine's aide, a thin man with calculating eyes, gestures toward the office. Go right in, General. The office is exactly as he remembers it. Ornate, filled with art and artifacts from across the galaxy. Sculptures from Naboo, paintings from Alderaan, ancient texts from worlds whose names Anakin doesn't recognize. And there, seated behind the massive desk, is Palpatine himself. The Chancellor looks up as Anakin enters, and his face breaks into that familiar grandfatherly smile. Ah, young Skywalker, I sensed you would come. You seem troubled, my boy. Please, sit. Anakin takes a seat in one of the plush chairs facing the desk. For a moment, he doesn't know where to begin. How do you tell someone you're terrified of losing everything? That you're seeing death in your dreams? I've been having visions, Chancellor. Dark visions. Someone I care about is going to die. Palpatine leans forward, his expression one of concern. His hands fold together on the desk, his posture attentive. But there's something in his eyes, something Anakin can't quite place. They seem to gleam with interest, almost excitement beneath the mask of grandfatherly concern. Visions, you say? The Force has granted you a glimpse of the future? Yes. The premonitions are becoming more frequent, more detailed. Every night now, I see her dying, and I can't stop it. Her? So it's someone close to you, someone you love. Anakin hesitates. He's revealed too much already. The Jedi forbid attachments, forbid marriage. If the Council knew about Padme, about their secret relationship, he'd be expelled from the Order. But Palpatine has always been understanding, always kept his confidences. I can't say who, but yes, someone I love. Death is a natural part of life, Anakin. You must not let your emotions cloud your judgment. Rejoice for those around you who transform into the Force. Mourn them, do not. Miss them, do not. That's what the Jedi would say. Anakin's voice is bitter. But that's easy to say when you're not the one losing someone. Palpatine's smile turns sympathetic. I understand your frustration. The Jedi can be rather cold in their teachings, can't they? They preach compassion, yet forbid love. They speak of peace, yet send you to war. It's quite the contradiction. They don't understand. They think attachment leads to the dark side. But there are ways, Anakin, ancient ways, to prevent such tragedies. The Jedi wouldn't teach you these secrets, of course. They fear knowledge, fear power. They would rather let someone die than explore the deeper mysteries of the Force. What do you mean? What kind of ways? Palpatine stands and walks to the window, his hands clasped behind his back. Have you ever heard the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? No, I thought not. It's not a story the Jedi would tell you. It's a Sith legend. Darth Plagueis was a Dark Lord of the Sith, so powerful and so wise. He could use the Force to influence the midi-chlorians, to create life. He had such a knowledge of the dark side, he could even keep the ones he cared about from dying. As Palpatine speaks, Anakin's gaze drifts across the office. He's heard this story before, heard whispers of it. The Sith could prevent death, could create life. It sounds like exactly what he needs, but something nags at him. Something in the back of his mind, a warning. His eyes scan the room, taking in the artifacts he's seen 100 times before. But there, on a pedestal partially obscured by shadow, something catches his attention. He'd never noticed it before. Or perhaps he'd simply overlooked it. A pyramid-shaped object with an eerie red glow emanating from within. The geometric patterns on its surface seem to pulse with energy. A holocron. Anakin's blood runs cold. He's seen images of these before in the Jedi archives, studied them during his training. Jedi holocrons are blue or green, repositories of knowledge accessible only to those trained in the light side of the Force. But Sith holocrons are red, containing the dark side teachings of ancient Sith Lords. And there's one sitting openly in the Supreme Chancellor's office. His training kicks in, and he extends his senses through the Force. It's like plunging into ice water. The office is drenched in darkness, so thick he can barely breathe through it. The dark side saturates every surface, clings to every artifact. It's everywhere, overwhelming and oppressive. How did he never notice it before? How did none of the Jedi who visited this office sense it? Unless the darkness was so great it clouded their perception, hidden in plain sight through sheer audacity. Palpatine is still talking, going on about Plagueis and his abilities, but Anakin barely hears him. His mind races, pieces clicking together like a puzzle. The Chancellor, who's always been so interested in him, who manipulated the Senate to gain emergency powers, who's prolonged the war at every turn with one crisis after another, the man who was always there with advice when the Jedi Council doubted him, always feeding his frustrations, always encouraging him to trust his emotions rather than the Jedi teachings. The man who appointed him as his representative on the Jedi Council, driving a wedge between him and the other masters. It was all manipulation. All of it. He can see it now with terrible clarity. But he forces himself to remain calm, to keep his face neutral. He can't let Palpatine know he's discovered the truth. Not yet. Not until he has proof, real evidence that the Council can't dismiss. So he nods along as Palpatine speaks, pretending to absorb every word about cheating death and the power of the dark side. He is everything he appears to be? This man who claims to be his friend? Is he truly just the Chancellor? Or is he something far more dangerous? The dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural. Palpatine turns from the window to face him. Plagueis became so powerful, the only thing he was afraid of was losing his power. Which eventually, of course, he did. Unfortunately, he taught his apprentice everything he knew. Then his apprentice killed him in his sleep. Ironic. He could save others from death, but not himself. Anakin swallows hard. That's a tragic story. But is it possible to learn this power? Palpatine's smile widens slightly. Not from a Jedi. The words hang in the air between them like a blade. Anakin understands the implication. Only from a Sith. Only from the dark side. Only from someone like Palpatine himself. The Chancellor is offering him exactly what he wants. Dangling salvation for Padme in front of him like bait, and Anakin realizes with chilling certainty that this was always the plan. Create the fear, offer the solution, isolate him from the Jedi, then position himself as the only one who can help. It's brilliant, it's evil, and it almost worked. I appreciate your wisdom, Chancellor. Anakin stands, keeping his voice carefully neutral. I'll meditate on what you've said. The Jedi teachings have left me with many questions. Perhaps you're right that they don't have all the answers. Palpatine's eyes gleam. You are wise beyond your years, Anakin. The Jedi Council may not see your true potential, but I do. You are destined for greatness. Remember, if you ever need anything, I am here for you. They may not understand you, but I do. You could be the most powerful Jedi who ever lived. All you need is the right teacher. I'll remember that. Thank you, Chancellor. Anakin bows respectfully and turns to leave. As he reaches the door, Palpatine calls out to him. Oh, and Anakin, I hope your visions prove to be false. But if they are not, remember that there is always a way. No tragedy is inevitable if you have the courage to do what must be done, even if it means breaking the rules you were taught to follow. Anakin nods and steps out of the office, his heart pounding. As soon as the doors close behind him, he allows himself to breathe. His hands are shaking. He was just in a room with a Sith Lord. The Supreme Chancellor of the Republic is a Sith Lord, and he's been grooming Anakin for years, preparing him to fall, to become his apprentice. The realization is staggering, but now comes the hard part. How does he prove it? Anakin doesn't go straight back to the Jedi Temple. Instead, he returns to his apartment, his mind churning with possibilities and plans. He needs to think this through carefully. One wrong move, and Palpatine will know he's been discovered. One mistake, and the Sith Lord will either flee or activate whatever contingency plans he surely has in place. When he arrives, Padme is there, reviewing legislative documents on her datapad. She looks up as he enters and immediately sees the tension in his shoulders. Anakin, what's wrong? You look like you've seen a ghost. He locks the door behind him and checks the apartment for listening devices, using the Force to scan every corner. Only when he's certain they're alone does he speak. Padme, I need to tell you something, and you need to promise not to react. Just listen. Her eyes widen, but she nods. All right. You're scaring me, but all right. I know. Chancellor Palpatine is a Sith Lord. The words hang in the air. Padme's face goes pale. Her datapad slips from her fingers and clatters on the floor. Anakin, that's an enormous accusation. The Supreme Chancellor? Are you certain? I saw a Sith holocron in his office. I felt the dark side radiating from him. And the way he talked to me today, Padme, he was trying to seduce me to the dark side. He told me about Sith powers to prevent death, dangled it in front of me like he knew exactly what I needed to hear. Because he did know. He's been manipulating me for years. Padme stands and paces across the room, her mind visibly racing. If what you're saying is true, then we're in incredible danger. The Chancellor has emergency powers, control over the clone army, authority over the entire Republic. If he's a Sith Lord, then everything, the war, the politics, all of it could be orchestrated. Exactly. And I can't go to the Jedi Council. Not yet. They already distrust me. They denied me the rank of Master. They question my judgment. If I go to them with this accusation based on a feeling and a holocron I glimpsed in his office, they'll dismiss it. Say my emotions are compromising my perception. Then what will you do? I need proof. Real, undeniable evidence. Documents. Recordings. Something that proves beyond any doubt what he is. And I need your help. Me? Anakin. I'm a senator, not a spy. But you have access to Senate records, financial documents, communication logs. If Palpatine is orchestrating this war, if he's playing both sides, there will be a trail. Money flowing to the separatists, secret communications, patterns. We just have to find them. Padme looks at him for a long moment. Then, slowly, she nods. If the Chancellor truly is what you say, then the Republic itself is at stake. Everything we've fought for, everything you've sacrificed, we have to expose him. But Anakin, we have to be careful. If he discovers what we're doing, before we have proof, I will. I promise. Over the next several days, Anakin and Padme begin their investigation. They work late into the night, reviewing records that Padme accesses through her senatorial credentials. At first, the task seems impossible. Palpatine has been in politics for decades. The amount of data is overwhelming. Financial transactions, communications, legislation, appointments, decisions. How do they even know what they're looking for? But Anakin remembers his military training. Obi-Wan taught him to look for patterns, to see the connections between seemingly unrelated events. So that's what they do. They create a timeline, starting from when Palpatine was just a senator from Naboo. They map out every major crisis during his rise to power. The invasion of Naboo that thrust him into the spotlight. The assassination attempts on Padme that led to the creation of the clone army. The start of the Clone Wars. The emergency powers granted to him again and again. Each crisis followed by Palpatine gaining more authority. Look at this. Padme points to her screen. 3 months before the invasion of Naboo, there were secret negotiations between Trade Federation representatives and someone in the Senate. The records don't say who, but large sums of credits changed hands. Can you trace where they went? She works her magic with the computer, following the trail of money through a dozen dummy corporations and shell accounts. It takes hours, but eventually they find it. credits flowing into accounts linked to Palpatine's political campaigns. He paid the Trade Federation to invade his own planet. Anakin feels sick. That invasion killed thousands of people. It led directly to the Queen, Padme herself, calling for a vote of no confidence that made Palpatine Chancellor. He engineered his own rise to power on the backs of his people's suffering. There's more. Padme's fingers fly across the datapad. Look at the clones. The clone army was supposedly commissioned by Jedi Master Sifo Dyas. But he died years before the army was actually created. The Kaminoans were paid through untraceable accounts. But I found something. Shipping manifests. Supply contracts. Companies that provided equipment to Kamino received preferential treatment in Republic contracts after Palpatine became Chancellor. He knew about the army. He might have commissioned it himself using Sifo Dyas's name. An army created in secret, trained to be loyal to the Chancellor. And now Palpatine controls them. They keep digging. They find communications between shell companies linked to Palpatine and known separatist financiers. They discover that corporations backing the separatists received favorable legislation during Palpatine's early years as Chancellor, setting them up to betray the Republic later. They uncover patterns of crises perfectly timed to grant Palpatine more power, more authority, more control. Each piece alone might be circumstantial, but together they paint a damning picture. But then Anakin finds something that makes his blood run cold. It's buried deep in Senate military archives, protected by encryption that Padme barely manages to crack. A file labeled Project Contingency. Inside are protocols for the clone army. Dozens of them. Numbered orders for different scenarios. Order 1 is for emergency command transfer. Order 5 is for breach of command structure. And Order 66. Anakin reads it 3 times, unable to believe what he's seeing. Order 66. In the event of Jedi officers acting against the interests of the Republic, and after receiving specific orders verified as coming directly from the Supreme Commander, clone forces will execute Jedi officers. What is this? Padme looks over his shoulder and gasps. Anakin, it's an order to kill the Jedi. All of them. Every clone trooper in the galaxy has been programmed with this order, waiting to be activated. And the Supreme Commander is the Chancellor. Padme's voice is barely a whisper. Palpatine has been planning to destroy the Jedi from the beginning. The clone army isn't here to protect the Republic. It's here to execute the Jedi when he gives the word. We have to warn them. We have to tell the Council immediately. But Anakin hesitates. His instincts are screaming at him that something is still missing. Palpatine has been planning this for decades. He wouldn't leave himself vulnerable. There must be more. What are you waiting for? We have the evidence. We have proof of his manipulation, his connection to the separatists, and now this Order 66. We have to act now, before he realizes we know. I know. But think about it, Padme. Palpatine is smart. Brilliant even. If we go to the Council now with what we have, it might not be enough. He can claim the financial connections are coincidental, that the emergency powers were legally granted, that Order 66 is just a contingency plan. He's the Supreme Chancellor. He has immunity from prosecution. The Senate would have to vote to remove that immunity before he could even be arrested. And you think he controls enough senators to block that vote? I know he does. I've seen him work the Senate for years. Half of them are either loyal to him out of genuine belief, or they're in his pocket. We need something ironclad. Something that proves he's a Sith Lord beyond any possible doubt. Then what do you suggest? I need to get back into his office. When he's not there, I need to find more evidence. Sith artifacts, communications with known Sith operatives, anything that proves what he really is. Anakin, that's too dangerous. If he catches you, if he catches me, then at least we already have enough evidence to make the Jedi suspicious. You can take what we've found to them, but I have to try. For all of us. Padme doesn't like it, but she understands. They spend the next day preparing. She provides him with a small recording device, military-grade equipment meant for espionage. She also gives him a data spike that can copy encrypted files and a sensor jammer to help him avoid security systems. Anakin studies Palpatine's schedule, memorizing his movements. The Chancellor has a late session in the Senate chambers tonight, a debate about further war funding that will last for hours. That's when he'll make his move. As evening falls, Anakin makes his way to the Senate building. He's dressed in civilian clothes, his lightsaber hidden beneath his jacket. He walks with confidence, like he belongs there. No one questions a Jedi's presence in the Senate, even out of uniform. He uses the Force to cloud the minds of security personnel, making them overlook him as he passes. It's a trick he learned from Obi-Wan, though his former master would disapprove of using it for breaking and entering. But these are extraordinary circumstances. He reaches the executive level and finds Palpatine's office door sealed. The lock is sophisticated, biometric, and code-protected. But the Force is more sophisticated still. Anakin reaches out, feeling the mechanism inside the lock, sensing the flow of electrons through the circuits. He manipulates them carefully, tricking the system into thinking it's received the proper authorization. The door slides open with a soft hiss. Inside, the office is dark. The city lights filtering through the windows cast long shadows across the expensive furniture and priceless artifacts. Anakin moves quickly but carefully, scanning the room with his senses. The dark side is still here, thick and oppressive, but he's prepared for it now. He knows what he's looking for. He starts with the desk, using the data spike to copy files from the Chancellor's personal computer. Encrypted documents, correspondence, anything that might prove useful. While the data transfers, he searches the physical space. The Sith holocron he saw before is gone, likely moved to somewhere more secure. But there are other things. He finds ancient texts written in Sith runes, a manuscript describing dark side rituals. In one drawer, hidden beneath false bottom, he discovers correspondence. Real correspondence on actual flimsy paper, something that can't be hacked or traced through networks. His hands shake as he reads them. Letters between Palpatine and Count Dooku discussing strategies for the war. Communications with General Grievous, giving him orders on which targets to hit. A message to Newt Gunray promising him that Padme will be killed for her crimes against the Trade Federation. And there, buried in the stack, something that makes Anakin's heart stop. Plans for something called Order 66, with detailed explanations of how the clones have been bred with inhibitor chips in their brains. Chips that will force them to execute the Jedi when activated, overriding their free will and turning them into assassins. The chips were implanted by the Kaminoans under Palpatine's orders, disguised as simple organic control chips. Anakin photographs everything with the recording device, making sure to capture every detail. He's so focused on his task that he almost misses it. A disturbance in the Force, a ripple of warning. Palpatine is returning early. Panic surges through him, but he forces it down. He quickly gathers the documents, putting them back exactly as he found them. He pockets the data spike and looks around for an escape route. The only way out is through the main door, but he'll run right into Palpatine. Instead, he hides. There's an alcove behind one of the larger sculptures, a space just big enough for him to squeeze into. He presses himself into the shadows and draws the Force around him like a cloak, making himself invisible. It's a technique he learned during the war, useful for stealth operations. But it requires absolute concentration. One stray thought, one moment of distraction, and the illusion will shatter. The doors open and Palpatine enters. But he's not alone. Mas Amedda, the Vice-Chancellor, is with him. Their voices carry across the office as they move deeper inside. Anakin holds his breath, afraid even breathing too loudly will give him away. Everything is proceeding as planned. My lord. Mas Amedda's voice is obsequious, fawning. The Jedi suspect nothing. Good. Palpatine's voice is different now. Not the warm, grandfatherly tone he uses in public. This voice is cold, cruel, filled with dark satisfaction. Soon the Council will be too weakened to oppose us. The war has stretched them thin. They send their best warriors to die on distant battlefields, while I consolidate power here at the center. And young Skywalker, Anakin's heart pounds in his chest. They're talking about him. He is progressing exactly as I foresaw. Palpatine moves to his desk, his fingers trailing across its surface. The boy is powerful, more powerful than any Jedi in a generation. But he is also afraid. Fear is the key to turning him. Once he learns his wife will die, once he believes only I can save her, he will have no choice but to embrace the dark side. You are certain she will die, my lord? Palpatine's laugh is chilling. I have seen it in the Force. Her death is not certain, but Skywalker believes it is. That belief is enough. I have planted the seed of fear in his mind, nurtured it with my words. When the time comes, he will beg me to teach him, to show him how to save her. And in return, he will become my apprentice. Darth Vader will be the greatest Sith Lord in history. And the Jedi? Once Order 66 is executed, there will be no Jedi. Every clone trooper in the Grand Army has been programmed to kill their Jedi generals on my command. Mas Amedda leans in, his voice eager. It will be swift and absolute. The Jedi will never see it coming. They trust their clones, see them as comrades. That trust will be their undoing. Exactly. And with the Jedi destroyed and young Skywalker at my side, nothing will stop me from transforming this republic into an empire that will rule for 1,000 years. Anakin nearly gasps but catches himself. Every muscle in his body is tensed, screaming at him to ignite his lightsaber and attack. But he's outnumbered, and more importantly, he has what he needs. He has proof, undeniable, recorded proof of Palpatine's plans. He forces himself to remain still, to maintain his concealment. The conversation continues for several more minutes. They discuss political maneuvers, which senators are loyal and which need to be eliminated or blackmailed into compliance. They talk about the war, about how they're using it to strip away freedoms in the name of security, about how each emergency has given Palpatine more power, more control. The people are sheep, Palpatine says dismissively. They trade their liberty for the illusion of safety. And when I finally reveal the full extent of my power, they will thank me for it. The strong deserve to rule, and I am the strongest. Finally, mercifully, Mas Amedda takes his leave. The Vice-Chancellor bows deeply to his master and exits the office. Palpatine remains, moving to the window to look out over the city. Anakin can sense him reaching out with the Force, feeling the currents of the dark side. For a terrifying moment, he thinks Palpatine will discover him. The Sith Lord's presence sweeps through the room like a searchlight. But Anakin's concealment holds. His training with Obi-Wan, his natural power in the Force, and his desperate need to remain hidden all combine to keep him invisible. After what feels like an eternity, Palpatine moves into his private chambers, a section of the office suite Anakin hadn't even known existed. The moment the door closes behind him, Anakin slips out of his hiding place and runs. He moves through the Senate building like a ghost, his heart racing. He has it. He has everything he needs. Recorded conversations, photographed documents, copied files. Evidence that will expose Palpatine and save the Jedi Order. He just has to get it to the Council before Palpatine realizes what's happened. By the time he reaches his apartment, it's past midnight. Padme is waiting, pacing anxiously. When she sees him, relief floods her face. Thank the Force. I was so worried. Did you find anything? I found everything. He pulls out the recording device and plays it back. As Padme listens to Palpatine's conversation with Mas Amedda, her face goes pale. He's planning to destroy the Jedi, all of them, and he wants to turn you into Darth Vader. Apparently, that's what he has planned for me. But it's not going to happen. We have him. This is undeniable proof. Not even the most loyal senator can ignore this. You have to take this to the Jedi Council. Now, tonight. I know. I needed to make sure you were safe first. Once I bring this forward, everything is going to change. There might be fighting, chaos. I need you to promise me you'll stay somewhere safe. I'm not hiding while you risk your life. Padme, please, for our children, promise me. She looks at him for a long moment, then nods reluctantly. All right, but you promise me something too. Come back, alive. I don't care about prophecies or chosen ones. I just want my husband back. I will. I promise. Anakin kisses her, pouring everything he feels into that moment. Then he leaves, making his way to the Jedi Temple. The massive building looms against the night sky, its towers reaching toward the stars. He's lived here for over a decade, trained here, studied here, and now he returns with news that will shake its very foundations. He requests an emergency session with the Council. The request itself is unusual enough that Master Windu convenes the senior members immediately, despite the late hour. Within minutes, the Council chamber fills. Yoda, Mace Windu, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ki-Adi Mundi, Plo Koon, Ayla Secura, The most senior masters all gather, their faces showing concern and curiosity. Anakin Skywalker, Master Windu's voice is stern. This had better be important. An emergency session at this hour. I assure you, Master Windu, it is. Anakin stands in the center of the chamber, feeling the weight of their gazes upon him. Masters, I have discovered a Sith Lord operating within the Republic. The room goes silent. Several council members exchange glances. Obi-Wan leans forward, his expression concerned. Anakin, that's a serious accusation. Are you certain? Completely certain? I have recorded proof, and the Sith Lord is... Anakin takes a deep breath. Chancellor Palpatine. The reaction is immediate. Several masters rise from their seats. Ki-Adi-Mundi looks shocked. Plo Koon's hands clench the arms of his chair. Even Yoda's ears droop slightly. A sign of deep concern. Obi-Wan simply stares, unable to process what he's hearing. Impossible. Mace Windu's voice is hard. The Chancellor has led us through this war. He's been a friend to the Jedi Order. I know how it sounds. Believe me, I struggled with this too. Palpatine has been my mentor for years, but I have proof. Anakin pulls out the recording device and plays it. The council listens in stunned silence as Palpatine's voice fills the chamber, speaking of his plans to destroy the Jedi, to turn Anakin to the dark side, to establish an empire. When it finishes, the room erupts. Unbelievable. Ki-Adi-Mundi sounds shaken. All this time, hear more. We must. Yoda's voice cuts through the chaos. Young Skywalker, everything you have, show us. Anakin spends the next hour laying it all out. The documents he photographed, showing Palpatine's correspondence with Count Dooku and other separatist leaders. The financial records Padme helped him uncover, proving Palpatine's manipulation of galactic events. The plans for Order 66, complete with technical specifications of the inhibitor chips in the clone troopers' brains. The ancient Sith texts found in his office. And finally, the recorded conversation where Palpatine explicitly reveals himself as a Sith Lord. With each piece of evidence, the council members' expressions grow darker. This is beyond anything we could have imagined. Obi-Wan sounds devastated. The Supreme Chancellor, the leader of the Republic, a Sith Lord the entire time, manipulating all of us. But Master Windu, these communications with Dooku, if this is genuine, and I can see no reason to doubt it, then Palpatine has been controlling both sides of the war, creating chaos so he can seize more power, orchestrating battles that killed thousands of Jedi and millions of innocents, all to gain absolute control. Mace Windu's expression is thunderous. And this Order 66. He plans to use our own clone troopers as assassins, to turn them against us when we least expect it. More than that, Anakin points to the technical documents. The inhibitor chips override their free will. The clones won't even realize what they're doing until it's too late. Every clone in the Grand Army is a sleeper agent waiting to be activated. We've been fighting alongside our own executioners. The room falls into troubled silence. The implications are staggering. The clone army they've relied on, the soldiers they fought beside and bled with, are all time bombs waiting to explode. One word from Palpatine and every Jedi in the field will be killed by the men they trust most. Dangerous this situation is. Yoda's voice is grave. Act we must, but carefully. Rush in blindly. We cannot. Master Yoda is right. Obi-Wan stands, pacing across the chamber. We can't simply arrest the Supreme Chancellor. The political ramifications would be catastrophic. Even with this evidence, many senators are loyal to Palpatine. They might see us as traitors attempting a coup. Not to mention his emergency powers, Aayla Secura adds. He has authority over the entire military. If he calls on the clone army before we can secure it, Master Windu cuts her off. Then, we move fast. We confront him with the evidence and demand he step down. If he refuses, if he reveals himself as Palpatine promised Anakin he would, then we have grounds to act. And if he simply denies everything? Ki Adi Mundi asks. Claims the evidence is fabricated. He won't, Anakin says with certainty. I know him. I've studied with him for years. His arrogance is his weakness. When confronted, he'll believe he can still turn me. He'll reveal himself, thinking he can seduce me in front of all of you. And when he does, we strike. The council debates for several more minutes, discussing strategy and contingencies. Finally, Master Windu makes the decision. I will lead a team to confront the Chancellor. Masters Fisto, Teen, and Kolar will accompany me. If Palpatine reveals himself, 4 Jedi Masters should be sufficient to subdue him. You want me to stay behind? Anakin can't keep the disappointment out of his voice. After everything I've done, no. Yoda interrupts Windu. Accompany them, young Skywalker will. Essential his presence is. If the Sith Lord reveals himself thinking to turn Skywalker, use that we can. Besides, earned his place he has. Without him, discovered this threat, we would not have. Anakin feels a surge of gratitude toward Yoda. The ancient master may be stern, but he's also wise enough to recognize what Anakin has accomplished. Master Windu looks like he wants to argue, but even he can't deny the logic. Fine. But Anakin, if this becomes violent, you must be ready. Palpatine will try to manipulate you. He'll offer you everything you want. The power to save Padme, freedom from the Jedi Code, whatever he thinks will sway you. I'm ready. I know his tricks now. I won't fall for them. See that you don't, because if you waver, even for a moment, we're all dead. Before they leave, Obi-Wan pulls Anakin aside. His expression is troubled, caught between pride and worry. I'm proud of you, Anakin. What you've done, discovering this plot, resisting the temptation Palpatine placed before you. It takes incredible strength. I almost didn't, Anakin admits quietly. When he told me about Darth Plagueis, about the power to prevent death, I wanted to believe him. I wanted to learn it. What stopped you? I realized that's exactly what he wanted. He's been manipulating me for years, feeding my fears and doubts. Everything he's done, every word of encouragement, every moment of seeming friendship, it was all to control me, to turn me into his weapon. And I refuse to be anyone's weapon. Obi-Wan places a hand on Anakin's shoulder. The Force works in mysterious ways, my friend. Perhaps your fear for Padme, as dangerous as attachment can be, is what saved you. Because you love her, you were desperate enough to seek any solution, and that desperation led you to discover the truth. So in a way, your attachment saved us all. Anakin manages a small smile. Don't let the council hear you say that. They'll think you've gone mad. Maybe I have. Or maybe it's time the Jedi reconsidered what we think we know about attachment and the dark side. But that's a conversation for later. Right now, we have a Sith Lord to confront. The 5 Jedi make their way through the Senate building. It's late evening now, and most of the corridors are empty. The few remaining senators and aides pass by without giving them a second glance. Jedi are a common sight in the Senate, especially during wartime. When they reach the Chancellor's office, the guards move to stop them. The Chancellor is not receiving visitors at this hour. Master Windu doesn't break stride. He extends his hand, using the Force to cloud their minds. You will let us pass. This is official Jedi business. The guard's eyes glaze over slightly. Official Jedi business. Yes, of course. They step aside, and the 5 Jedi enter the office. Inside, Palpatine sits at his desk, reviewing holographic documents. He looks up as they enter, and for just a fraction of a second, something flickers across his face. Surprise? Fear? Recognition that his plans have been discovered? But it's quickly masked by his warm, grandfatherly smile. The expression of a kindly old man, confused by the unexpected visit. Masters Windu, Fisto, Tien, and Kolar. And young Anakin. To what do I owe this unexpected pleasure? A visit from so many distinguished Jedi at this hour. Is something wrong? Master Windu steps forward, his expression grave and unyielding. His hand rests near his lightsaber, ready, but not yet threatening. Chancellor Palpatine, the Jedi Council has received evidence of your involvement in treasonous activities. Evidence that you have been manipulating the Republic and orchestrating the Clone Wars for your own gain. Evidence that you are, in fact, the Sith Lord Darth Sidious. Palpatine's smile doesn't waver, but his eyes harden. The kind mask slips just slightly, revealing something cold and calculating underneath. That's quite an accusation, Master Jedi. Surely you don't make such claims lightly. I hope you have substantial proof of such an outrageous claim. Because accusing the Supreme Chancellor of treason without cause would be, well, treasonous itself. Anakin steps forward, pulling out the recording device and the photographs. He places them on Palpatine's desk, spreading them out like cards in a game. I found these in your office, Chancellor. Communications with Count Dooku. Orders to General Grievous. Financial records showing your manipulation of galactic events. Plans for Order 66 to eliminate the Jedi. And most damning of all, I heard you. You spoke of turning me to the dark side, of executing your plan to destroy the Jedi and establish an empire. For a long moment, Palpatine stares at the evidence spread before him. Then slowly, he begins to laugh. It's a cold, cruel sound that seems to fill the entire office. The temperature drops and the lights flicker. The air itself seems to thicken with dark energy. So, the Chosen One has chosen indeed. Palpatine's voice changes, losing its grandfatherly warmth. This is the voice Anakin heard in his recording, the voice of Darth Sidious. I must admit, I'm impressed, young Skywalker. I thought I had more time, thought your fear for your wife would drive you to me before you discovered the truth. But you surprised me. You actually resisted. The mask is gone now, completely dropped. Palpatine rises from his chair, and as he does, the pleasant expression on his face twists into something terrible. His eyes gleam with malevolent intelligence, and the dark side radiates from him like heat from a furnace. How disappointing. I had such plans for you, Anakin. Together we could have ruled the galaxy, brought order to the chaos. But you've thrown it all away. And for what? To remain a slave to the Jedi and their outdated code? You have uncovered my plans, but it changes nothing. The Jedi are already finished. You just don't know it yet. In the name of the Galactic Senate of the Republic, Mace Windu's voice rings out as he ignites his lightsaber. The purple blade springs to life with a snap hiss. You are under arrest, Chancellor. The other Jedi follow suit, their lightsabers creating a rainbow of colored blades. Blue, green, purple. They form a circle of light around the Sith Lord. The Senate? Palpatine's laugh echoes through the chamber. I am the Senate. And you, Master Windu, Master Fisto, Master Tien, Master Kolar, you are all relics of a failed religion. The Jedi Order is a shadow of what it once was, weakened by your own dogma and blindness. His hands suddenly shoot forward, twin streams of Force lightning erupting from his fingertips. The attack is so sudden, so violent, that the Jedi barely have time to react. Master Kolar moves to deflect the lightning with his lightsaber, but the sheer power behind it overwhelms him. The electricity courses through his weapon and into his body. He screams and falls, smoke rising from his corpse. The other Jedi scatter, diving in different directions. Master Fisto rolls left while Master Tien leaps right. Obi-Wan and Anakin dive behind a pillar, and Master Windu stands his ground. His purple lightsaber absorbs the lightning, the blade glowing brighter as it channels the dark energy. I've been looking forward to this for years. Palpatine snarls, his face contorted with rage and dark pleasure. The Jedi have interfered with my plans, opposed my vision, rejected the strength that could have elevated the Republic to true greatness. But no more. His lightsaber flies from its hiding place beneath his desk, shooting across the room to his hand. It ignites with a crimson blade, and Palpatine leaps forward with impossible speed. He moves like a demon, his blade a blur of red light. His fighting style is ancient and deadly, each movement precise and efficient. Master Fisto moves to intercept, his green blade coming up to block the attack. For a moment, they're locked together, lightsaber against lightsaber. But Palpatine is far faster than he appears. With a twist of his wrist and a surge of dark side power, he breaks Master Fisto's guard. His crimson blade finds an opening and slides through the Mon Calamari Jedi's chest. Master Fisto's eyes widen in shock and pain before he crumples to the floor. 2 Jedi dead in less than 30 seconds. The remaining 4 realize with terrible clarity what they're facing. This is no mere Sith apprentice or rogue dark Jedi. This is a Sith Lord in his prime, one who has been planning and preparing for this moment for decades. Master Tien attacks from behind, his blue lightsaber aimed at Palpatine's back. But the Sith Lord spins with impossible grace, his blade whirling through the air. Tien barely manages to block the first strike, and the second, but the third cuts through his defense. The Iktochi Jedi falls, joining his companions in death. 3 masters down. Only Mace Windu Obi-Wan and Anakin remain. They spread out, forming a triangle around Palpatine. They don't speak, don't need to. Years of fighting together in the Clone Wars have taught them to coordinate without words. Obi-Wan attacks first, his Soresu form perfect and precise. His blue blade probes at Palpatine's defenses, forcing the Sith Lord to defend. Anakin follows a split second later. His gem So strikes powerful and aggressive. He aims for Palpatine's legs. Trying to limit his mobility, the Sith Lord is forced to defend from two directions at once. His lightsaber becomes a blur of motion, blocking Obi-Wan's probing attacks while staying just ahead of Anakin's powerful strikes. But even fighting two skilled Jedi, Palpatine shows no sign of strain. If anything, he seems to be enjoying himself. Very good. He hisses between strikes. I taught you well, didn't I, Anakin? All those lessons in aggression, in using your emotions, you fight like a Sith, even if you claim to be a Jedi. Anakin doesn't respond. He's learned that lesson well enough. Engaging in verbal sparring with an opponent is just another form of manipulation. Instead, he pours his focus into the fight, his lightsaber moving in the powerful forms of Gemso. Mace Windu enters the battle, his Varpad style drawing on the darkness and reflecting it back at its source. His purple blade crashes against Palpatine's crimson one with tremendous force. The three Jedi work in perfect coordination, their lightsabers creating a web of light that should be impossible to defend against. And slowly, gradually, they begin to drive Palpatine back. The Sith Lord is skilled, incredibly so, but even he can't defend against three master duelists simultaneously. His counterattacks grow more desperate, more aggressive. He unleashes bursts of Force lightning. But the Jedi are ready now. They deflect it with their lightsabers or dodge aside. He tries to use the Force to throw furniture at them, but they simply cut through the obstacles or redirect them with the Force. You cannot defeat me, Palpatine snarls, but there's an edge of desperation in his voice now. I am the dark side incarnate. I have studied the Sith arts for decades. I am power itself. You're a tired old man. Anakin's voice is steady, controlled. A tired old man hiding behind tricks and manipulation. And your time is over. With a combined assault, the three Jedi press their advantage. Obi-Wan's blade probes low, forcing Palpatine to defend his legs. Mace Windu attacks high, his powerful strikes hammering at the Sith Lord's defense, and Anakin drives forward in the center, his blade aimed directly at Palpatine's heart. The Sith Lord is forced back against the massive window overlooking the Senate district. He's cornered now, trapped with nowhere to run. His yellow Sith eyes burn with hatred and rage. But desperation breeds creativity, and Palpatine is nothing if not resourceful. He suddenly breaks away from the lightsaber combat, hurling his weapon at Mace Windu's head. The Jedi Master barely ducks in time as the crimson blade spins past him, embedding itself in the wall. Palpatine uses that split second to unleash his full power. Both hands thrust forward, and a torrent of Force lightning erupts, more powerful than anything he's shown before. The room fills with crackling energy, the smell of ozone thick in the air. The three Jedi raise their lightsabers to deflect the attack, but the sheer intensity forces them back. Their boots slide across the polished floor as they struggle against the onslaught. You cannot comprehend the power I wield." Palpatine screams over the roar of lightning. "I have studied the dark side for longer than you've been alive. I have unlocked secrets the Jedi never dreamed existed. I am inevitable." Anakin can feel the dark side pressing against him like a physical weight. It whispers to him, promising power if he'll just give in, telling him that Palpatine is right, that the Sith Lord is too strong, that the only way to defeat him is to use the dark side, to tap into that same bottomless well of power. For a moment, just a moment, Anakin considers it. He can feel the rage inside him, the anger at being manipulated for so long. He could channel that, use it as a weapon. It would be so easy. But then he remembers, this is exactly what Palpatine wants. The Sith Lord is trying to corrupt him even now, in the midst of battle, trying to make him fall even as he dies. Anakin takes a deep breath and centers himself. He reaches for the light side of the Force, for peace and serenity. He thinks of Padme, of their unborn children, of the future he's fighting to protect. And he finds strength not in anger, but in love. His lightsaber glows brighter as he pours energy into deflecting the lightning. Beside him, Obi-Wan does the same, his face serene despite the strain. And Mace Windu, drawing on his Vapad technique, actually begins to absorb the dark side energy and redirect it. The lightning begins to arc back toward Palpatine. The Sith Lord's eyes widen in surprise as his own attack turns against him. He tries to stop, to cut off the flow of power. But it's too late. The three Jedi have locked onto the energy and are forcing it back at its source. No. Palpatine gasps as electricity courses through his body. His face contorts, his skin bubbling and charring. This cannot be. I am the dark side. You are nothing. Anakin steps forward through the lightning, his lightsaber held high. You're a parasite, nothing more. You fed on the Republic's fear, on its weaknesses. But that ends now. With tremendous effort, Palpatine manages to cut off the lightning. He stumbles back, his face now horribly scarred, his hands blackened and twisted. But he's not finished yet. He reaches out with the Force and tears chunks of stone from the walls, hurling them at the Jedi. Obi-Wan and Mace Windu dodge and deflect, but the barrage is relentless. Palpatine brings down a support beam, then rips apart furniture and statues. The office becomes a whirlwind of destruction. This isn't over, he screams. Even if you kill me, there are contingencies, plans within plans. My apprentices will continue my work. The Sith will survive. Maybe, Anakin says, deflecting a piece of debris, but you won't. The three Jedi coordinate without words, their connection through the Force allowing perfect synchronization. Obi-Wan flanks left while Mace Windu goes right. Anakin charges straight up the center. Palpatine tries to defend against all three, using the Force to create barriers and launch attacks. But he's weakening now, his power draining from the sustained combat and his injuries. Mace Windu's blade finally breaks through, slashing across Palpatine's arm. The Sith Lord screams and his concentration breaks. Obi-Wan follows up immediately, his lightsaber cutting across Palpatine's side. And then Anakin is there, his weapon driving forward with all his strength. His lightsaber pierces through Palpatine's defenses and through his heart. The Sith Lord's eyes widen in shock and disbelief. his scarred face frozen in an expression of surprise. This is impossible, he gasps, blood trickling from his mouth. I foresaw. I planned everything, every contingency, every possibility. How did you? The Force, Anakin says quietly, his voice steady despite the trembling in his hands. You forgot that the Force has its own plans. And sometimes, those plans don't include you. You thought you were the master of fate, that you could control everything. But you were just another piece on the board. One final breath rattles from Palpatine's throat. Then his body goes limp, and the dark presence that filled the room begins to dissipate. It doesn't disappear all at once, but slowly fades like smoke in wind, leaving behind only the faint echo of what once was. Palpatine shudders once, twice, and then collapses. The dark presence that filled the room begins to dissipate, like smoke in the wind. The oppressive weight lifts, and for the first time in years, the Force feels clear, clean. The Sith Lord is dead. The room falls silent, except for the hum of 3 lightsabers still ignited. Slowly, carefully, the 3 Jedi deactivate their weapons. Obi-Wan moves to check on the fallen masters, but it's clear they're beyond help. Master Windu stands over Palpatine's body, his expression unreadable. Is it truly over? Anakin stares down at the corpse of the man who was once his mentor. Part of him feels hollow. Palpatine had been in his life for so long, had been a constant presence. To discover it was all a lie, all manipulation, and then to be forced to kill him. It's a strange feeling. It's over, he finally says. The Sith Lord is dead. Obi-Wan joins them, his hand on Anakin's shoulder. You did well, my friend. I know this couldn't have been easy for you, but Master Windu's expression is troubled. We killed the Chancellor. Without a trial, without legal process, there will be consequences. The Jedi Code, I didn't arrest him. I killed him. Anakin's voice is quiet, the weight of that choice settling on him. I could have disarmed him, could have taken him alive, but I didn't. The Jedi Code says we should show mercy, that killing an unarmed opponent is the path to the dark side. Did you give in to darkness? Master Windu finishes the thought, then shakes his head. No, Anakin. What you did was necessary. The Jedi Code is important. It guides us, keeps us grounded. But so is protecting the Republic, protecting life itself. Palpatine would have destroyed everything if given the chance. He had already killed 3 Jedi Masters. He would have called on his clone army, activated Order 66, and killed thousands more of us. What you did prevented that. Still, Anakin looks at his hands, at the lightsaber that took a life. We'll need to answer for this. To the Senate, to the Republic. There will be an investigation. Questions. Obi-Wan nods. There will be. But we have the evidence, the recordings, the documents. The truth will come out. And whatever consequences we face, we'll face them together. As they stand there among the dead, Anakin reaches out through the Force. He's searching for something, some lingering threat or hidden danger, and he finds it. A small device hidden in Palpatine's desk, pulsing with energy. He moves to it, and his blood runs cold. It's a transmitter, a master control device with a single button labeled Execute Order 66. One press and every clone trooper in the galaxy will turn on their Jedi commanders. Palpatine must have kept it close, ready to activate at the first sign of danger. This is it. Anakin holds up the device. The kill switch for the clone army. Master Windu's eyes widen. If anyone loyal to Palpatine had found his body, they could have activated this out of revenge or panic. We need to secure it immediately, and we need to deactivate those inhibitor chips before someone else discovers what happened here. They move quickly. Master Windu contacts the Jedi Temple using a secure comm channel. He speaks directly to Master Yoda, explaining what happened and the immediate danger they face. The ancient Grand Master responds immediately, mobilizing the temple's best slicers and technicians. Within minutes, a team is assembled: Jedi technical specialists, Republic engineers, and medical personnel who specialize in neurosurgery. Their mission is clear: access the clone database, locate the specifications for the inhibitor chips, and find a way to deactivate them before anyone can trigger Order 66. It's a race against time. News of Palpatine's death will spread quickly once the body is discovered. There are senators loyal to him, military officers who owe him their positions, bureaucrats throughout the government, who might try to activate the order either out of loyalty or simply to cover their own involvement in his schemes. Master Yoda coordinates the effort from the temple. He contacts clone commanders across the galaxy. Men like Cody, Rex, and Wolf, who have fought alongside the Jedi for years. He doesn't tell them everything, not yet, but he orders them to bring their men in for immediate medical evaluations. Strange readings in their bioscans, he claims. Nothing serious, just a precaution. The clone commanders are confused, but compliant. They trust the Jedi, trust Master Yoda. They begin gathering their troops and sending them to Republic medical facilities. Meanwhile, at the Jedi Temple, the technical team makes a breakthrough. They access the Kaminoan files, the original specifications for the clone army. Hidden deep in the genetic code, they find it. The inhibitor chip, disguised as a simple organic control chip, meant to prevent aggressive behavior. But the real purpose is far more sinister. Each chip contains hardwired protocols, dozens of them, all tied to specific verbal commands. Order 1, Order 5, Order 37, and Order 66, execute the Jedi. The protocol is designed to override the clones' free will, turning them into mindless assassins. Worse, the chips are connected to a central network, a system that allows them to be activated remotely. One signal from the master control device, and every chip in every clone will activate simultaneously. There's no time to remove the chips surgically. That would take months, possibly years. Instead, the technical team develops a different solution: a counter-programming virus that will disable the chip's command functions while leaving the rest of their neural implants intact. It's risky. If the virus doesn't work perfectly, it could cause brain damage or even death. But it's the only option they have. For 3 tense hours, the Jedi work. They deploy the virus through the Republic's military medical network, targeting every clone trooper simultaneously. The virus spreads like wildfire, jumping from one clone to another through their neural network connections. In medical bays across the galaxy, clone troopers suddenly clutch their heads, crying out in pain as the virus rewrites their neural pathways. Some scream, others collapse. A few go into seizures, but slowly, The crisis passes. One by one, the chips shut down, their assassination protocols disabled. The clones remain themselves, their personalities and memories intact. But the threat of Order 66 is gone. Commander Cody is one of the first to fully recover. He's in a medical bay on a star destroyer orbiting Cato Neimoidia when the procedure finishes. He sits up, rubbing his head, feeling a strange emptiness where something used to be. A weight he never knew he was carrying is suddenly gone. What happened? He asks the medical droid beside him. A necessary medical procedure, Commander. Please remain still while we verify the operation was successful. What operation? What are you talking about? I don't remember agreeing to any surgery. Before the droid can answer, a hologram flickers to life. Master Yoda appears, his expression grave and sorrowful. Commander Cody, terrible news I have. But first, ensure you how you are feeling. I must. I'm fine, sir. Confused, but fine. What's going on? Why was there a medical procedure? And why do I feel like something's missing from my head? Betrayed. The Republic has been. By whom, Master Yoda? Who could betray the Republic? The Chancellor himself. A Sith Lord he was, plotting to destroy the Jedi Order and establish an empire. For many years, deceived us all he did. The color drains from Cody's face. He's fought beside the Jedi for years, served under General Kenobi through countless battles. The idea that someone wanted to destroy them, wanted to use the clones to do it, makes his stomach turn. Sir, that's impossible. Chancellor Palpatine, but he's been leading us through the war. He's the Supreme Commander. Impossible it is not. Proof we have. Recordings of his conversations, documents showing his manipulation. Orchestrated both sides of the war, he did. Created the clone army specifically to destroy the Jedi when the time came. But sir, what does this have to do with the medical procedure? What did you do to me? Implanted in your brain, an inhibitor chip was designed to make you kill Jedi on command. All clones have them, programmed by the Kaminoans under Palpatine's orders, called it Order 66. One command from him, and every clone trooper in the galaxy would have turned on their Jedi generals. Killed them without hesitation, without even understanding why. Cody feels like he's been punched in the gut. He looks at his hands, the hands that have fought alongside General Kenobi, the hands that have saved Jedi, lives and been saved by Jedi in return. And they were programmed to kill them, to murder the people he respects most in the galaxy. I could have killed General Kenobi. His voice is barely a whisper, without even knowing why, without even remembering doing it. I could have shot him in the back while he was fighting droids, trusting me to protect him. And I wouldn't have even understood what I was doing. Yes, Yoda's voice is heavy, but prevented this, we have. Thanks to young Skywalker, discovered the plot we did before activation. Removed the chips we have from all clones. Free you are now, Commander. But understand you must, the danger we all were in. How close we came to. Cody can't finish the sentence. His hands are shaking. All the battles he's fought, all the trust he's built with the Jedi, it was all built on a lie. He was never truly free. He was always just a weapon, waiting to be triggered. General Kenobi, he finally manages to say. Is he safe? Safe he is. Informed him we have of the situation. Wants to speak with you. He does. When ready you are. Not yet. Cody stands, pacing the medical bay. I need time to process this. My brothers need to know. Every clone in the army needs to understand what was done to us. We were created to be soldiers. Fine. We accepted that. But we were created to be assassins, programmed to kill the people we fight beside. That's slavery. That's treating us like droids, like machines without thoughts or feelings. Agreed, I am. Yoda nods slowly. Fight for your rights, the Jedi will. Deserve freedom. You and your brothers do. Deserve to choose your own paths. But first, secure the galaxy we must. Many clones there are who do not yet know. Inform them all, we will. But time it will take. Can I count on your help? Yes, sir. Cody straightens, his military bearing returning. My brothers deserve to know the truth. And they deserve justice for what was done to us. The Kaminoans who implanted these chips, Palpatine who ordered it, anyone who knew about this and stayed silent, they all need to answer for it. Justice there will be. I promise you this. Across the galaxy, similar scenes play out. Commander Rex learns the truth while stationed on Felucia. He immediately calms Captain Ahsoka Tano, his voice tight with emotion. Captain, I need to tell you something, and I need you to know that I would never have Rex. I know. Ahsoka's voice is gentle. Master Yoda told me what happened. You're not responsible for what was done to you, but I could have killed you. You, General Skywalker, General Kenobi, everyone I've served with, everyone I respect. There were so many times in battle when your backs were turned, when you were focused on the enemy. One command, and I would have, but you didn't. That's what matters. The chips are gone now. You're free. But Rex, I need you to understand something. You and your brothers, you were victims in this too. Palpatine used everyone. The Jedi, the Senate, the clones. We were all pawns in his game. That doesn't make it right. Nothing about this is right. We're people, not weapons. And we deserve to be treated like people. You do. And I'm going to make sure everyone knows it. Commander Wolf has a different reaction. When he learns about the chips, about how close he came to killing General Plo Koon, he breaks down completely. The tough, battle-hardened commander sits in his quarters and weeps. General Plo finds him there an hour later. Commander, are you all right? No, sir. Wolf doesn't look up. I'm not all right. I don't think I'll ever be all right again. Because of the chip. Because I was created to kill you. You saved my life at Abrigado. You could have left me and my brothers to die, but you came back for us. You called us men, treated us with respect when everyone else saw us as expendable. And the whole time, I had a chip in my brain programmed to make me shoot you in the back. Plo Koon sits beside him, his breathing mask hissing softly. The chip is gone now. It can't hurt anyone, but the knowledge remains. Wolf finally looks up, his mismatched eyes red. How do I live with this? How does any clone live with knowing we were walking time bombs? That every moment of trust, every bond we formed, was built on top of this betrayal? The same way we all live with our choices and our past. Plo Koon says gently, with awareness with growth, and with the determination to do better. You were a victim, Commander. You and all your brothers. Don't let Palpatine's evil make you see yourselves as villains. But we could have been. We were designed to be. Perhaps. But you weren't. Because Anakin Skywalker chose to investigate rather than give in to his fears. Because he chose to trust the Jedi Council rather than keeping secrets. Because at every crucial moment, people chose the light over the darkness. And now you have a choice too. You can let this destroy you, or you can use it to become stronger, to fight for your brother's freedom, to ensure that no one ever treats clones as disposable again. Wolf takes a shaky breath and nods. You're right, sir. I need time. Take all the time you need, Commander. I'll be here when you're ready. Commander Bly on Felucia has yet another reaction. When he learns what the chips were designed to do, his first thought is of General Ayla Secura. He immediately requests to speak with her, needing to apologize, to explain, to do something. Ayla, when she appears via hologram, looks concerned. Commander Bly, I heard about the chips. Are you all right? General, I need to apologize. For what? You didn't do anything wrong, but I could have. The chip. If Palpatine had activated it, I would have killed you. You've been my commanding officer for years. You've taught me, fought beside me, saved my life more times than I can count. And I was programmed to murder you. Bly, listen to me. Ayla's voice is firm, but kind. What was done to you was evil, but it wasn't your fault. The Kaminoans, Palpatine, they're the ones responsible. Not you, not any of the clones. But how can you trust us now? How can any Jedi trust us after learning we were designed to kill you? Because I know you. I've fought beside you. Bly, I've seen your courage, your loyalty, your compassion. A chip can't change who you fundamentally are. It could have forced your body to act, but it couldn't change your heart. And your heart has always been loyal to the Republic, to your brothers, and yes, to the Jedi. I still feel like I betrayed you, even though the chip is gone, even though it never activated. You didn't betray anyone, but if you need to do something to feel better, then do this. Fight for your brothers. Help them process this trauma. Make sure the galaxy knows that clones are people, not property. That's how you honor what we've been through together. Bly nods slowly. Yes, sir. I can do that. And Ayla, thank you for understanding, for not hating us for what we could have done. I could never hate you, Commander. You're one of the best men I know. Chip or no chip, that hasn't changed. That they were created not just as soldiers, but as sleeper agents. Weapons pointed at the backs of their friends, ready to fire on command. The reactions vary. Some are horrified, others are angry. A few break down completely, unable to process the betrayal. But all of them are grateful. Grateful that the Jedi discovered the plot in time. Grateful that they never had to become the monsters they were designed to be. Commander Rex contacts Anakin directly through a secure channel. General Skywalker. Rex's voice is tight with emotion. I just heard what you did, what you saved us from. I don't know what to say. You don't need to say anything, Rex. You're not responsible for what was done to you. None of you are. But I could have killed you. Could have killed Captain Tano, General Kenobi, everyone I've ever served with. and I wouldn't have even known why. But you didn't. That's what matters. The threat is over. But sir, there are millions of us. Millions of clones across the galaxy, all created by the Sith Lord. How do we know there aren't other protocols, other hidden commands? We don't, Anakin admits. That's why we're screening every clone, checking for any other hidden programming. It's going to take time, but we'll figure it out. And Rex, when this is over, when the war is finished, you and your brothers deserve more than just decommissioning. You deserve freedom, to choose your own paths, live your own lives. That's what I'm going to fight for. I appreciate that, sir. Rex's voice steadies. More than you know. But for now, what are your orders? Secure your position. Keep your men safe. And be ready. There's going to be political fallout from all this. The Republic is going to change, probably in ways we can't predict yet. But whatever happens, we face it together. By morning, the crisis is contained. The clone army is secured. The inhibitor chips disabled. 3 billion soldiers who were walking time bombs are now free men, aware of what was done to them, and determined never to let it happen again. But while the immediate military threat is over, the political fallout is just beginning. Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Mace Windu spend the rest of the night securing the evidence of Palpatine's treachery. They seal his office, preventing anyone from entering or tampering with the crime scene. They make copies of all the documents, all the recordings, everything they found, and they prepare for the storm to come. At dawn, they make the announcement. The Jedi Council calls an emergency session of the Senate. Every senator who can reach Coruscant on short notice rushes to the Senate building, filling the massive chamber. Rumors are already flying. The Chancellor is dead, killed by the Jedi. Some call it murder, others assassination. The fear is palpable. If the Jedi can kill the Supreme Chancellor, what's to stop them from seizing power themselves? But when Mace Windu takes the podium, the chamber falls silent. Senators of the Republic. His voice echoes through the massive space. I come before you today to report a tragedy and a betrayal. Last night, Jedi forces were compelled to act against Chancellor Palpatine. He was discovered to be a Sith Lord who had been manipulating the Republic for decades. The chamber erupts. Senators shouting in disbelief, some in anger, others demanding proof. Mace Windu raises his hand for silence. I know how this sounds. I know many of you considered Palpatine a friend, a leader who guided us through dark times. But I have proof, undeniable proof of his treachery. He signals and the holographic displays throughout the chamber flicker to life. The senators watch in stunned horror as the evidence unfolds before them. The recording of Palpatine speaking with Maz Amedda about destroying the Jedi and establishing an empire. The documents showing his financial manipulation and connections to the Separatists. The plans for Order 66. The correspondence with Count Dooku and other Separatist leaders. With each revelation, the mood in the chamber shifts. Shock gives way to understanding, and understanding to outrage. The man they trusted, the leader they followed, had been playing them all for fools. Senator Bail Organa of Alderaan is the first to speak after the evidence finishes playing. His voice is shaken but controlled. Master Windu, on behalf of the Senate, I apologize for doubting you. What we've seen here today It's beyond comprehension. But I must ask, how far does this conspiracy go? How many others were involved? That's what we need to investigate. Anakin steps forward, his voice carrying across the chamber. We know that Mas Amedda, the Vice-Chancellor, was complicit. We have recordings of him speaking with Palpatine about their plans. There are likely others. Senators, military officers, bureaucrats. We need a full investigation to root out all of Palpatine's co-conspirators. Agreed. Another senator stands, a woman from Chandrila. I move that we establish a special commission to investigate this conspiracy and bring all guilty parties to justice. Seconded. Bail Organa's voice rings out. And I further move that we hold emergency elections for a new chancellor, one who can be trusted to lead us through this crisis with transparency and integrity. The vote is swift and unanimous. The Senate, shocked and betrayed by Palpatine's deception, comes together in a way they haven't in years. Political divisions are temporarily set aside in the face of the threat that nearly destroyed them all. A special investigative commission is formed, led by senators known for their integrity. They're given broad authority to examine every aspect of Palpatine's administration, to follow every lead and prosecute every conspirator. Mas Amedda is arrested within hours. He tries to flee, but is caught by Jedi Knights before he can leave Coruscant. Under interrogation, he reveals the names of other conspirators. Senator Orn Freetar of Ryloth, who took bribes to vote for Palpatine's emergency powers. Admiral Dron, who manipulated military deployments to prolong the war. Dozens of others, some minor functionaries, others high-ranking officials. Each one is systematically arrested and charged. The Republic begins the slow, painful process of purging the corruption from its government. But the work doesn't stop there. The Jedi Council realizes that the war itself must be addressed. With Palpatine dead and the Separatist leadership learning they were pawns in a Sith scheme, many worlds immediately seek peace negotiations. Count Dooku had been killed months earlier during the Battle of Coruscant, and without Palpatine pulling the strings, the Separatist movement begins to fracture. Some worlds genuinely believed in the Separatist cause, in reforming the Republic's corruption and giving more power to local systems. These worlds are willing to negotiate, to seek a peaceful resolution. Other worlds had joined the Separatists only because of bribes, threats, or manipulation. These begin to defect back to the Republic immediately. Master Yoda leads the peace negotiations personally. He travels to Separatist worlds, meeting with their leaders and explaining what was discovered. At first, many don't believe him. The idea that both sides of the war were manipulated by the same man seems too absurd to be true. But the evidence is overwhelming. Financial records showing Palpatine funding both the Republic clone army and the Separatist droid army. Communications proving he gave orders to both sides. Strategic decisions that prolonged the war and maximized casualties on both sides. One by one, the Separatist worlds agree to peace talks. Some demand autonomy, greater representation in the Senate, protection from the core world's exploitation. These are reasonable demands, and the Republic negotiates in good faith. New treaties are signed, guaranteeing rights to the Outer Rim worlds and establishing safeguards against future corruption. But not all Separatists are willing to negotiate. General Grievous, the cybernetic supreme commander of the droid army, refuses to surrender. He sees the peace talks as weakness, as betrayal of the separatist cause. He rallies the most militant droid forces and declares his intention to fight on. The Republic has no choice but to respond with force. But this time, they fight with a clear purpose. Not to prolong the war, but to end it. Anakin leads the assault on Grievous's stronghold on Utapau. He commands a force of clone troopers who are now fully aware of their purpose, of the manipulation they suffered. They fight not because they were programmed to, but because they choose to, because they believe in protecting the Republic and ending the war. The Battle of Utapau is fierce. Grievous has fortified his position well, and his droid armies outnumber the Republic forces 3-1. But the Republic has the advantage of purpose and coordination. The clones fight with determination, knowing this is one of the last battles of the war. Anakin cuts through waves of battle droids. His lightsaber, a blue blur. He can feel Grievous somewhere in the fortress, can sense the cybernetic general's fear. For all his bluster, Grievous knows he's fighting a losing battle. The Republic forces push deeper into the fortress. Obi-Wan leads one wing of the assault, while Commander Cody coordinates the main force. The droids fight back viciously, but they're outmatched. Without Palpatine's strategic guidance, without the Sith Lord coordinating their movements, the Separatist forces lack cohesion. Finally, Anakin confronts Grievous in the command center. The cyborg general stands surrounded by his Magna Guards, his 4 arms each wielding a lightsaber taken from fallen Jedi. General Skywalker. Grievous's voice is a mechanical rasp. I've been looking forward to killing you. You've been a thorn in the Separatist cause for too long. The Separatist cause? Anakin doesn't ignite his lightsaber yet. You were a pawn, Grievous. Palpatine played both sides. Everything you fought for, every order you followed, it was all part of his plan to seize power. Lies. Grievous snarls. The Republic seeks to avoid blame for their aggression. But I will not be swayed by your propaganda. Then you'll die for nothing. Because the war is over, most of your allies have already surrendered. You're alone. I am never alone. I am the future of warfare, the perfect fusion of organic and machine. And I will destroy you. Grievous attacks, all 4 of his lightsabers spinning in deadly wheels. Anakin ignites his blade and meets the assault. The 2 warriors clash in the center of the command room, their weapons creating a storm of light and energy. Grievous fights with mechanical precision, his 4 arms attacking from multiple angles simultaneously. But Anakin has fought him before, understands his patterns. He uses the Force to enhance his speed, to predict Grievous's movements. One by one, he begins severing the cyborg's limbs. The first arm falls, then the second. Grievous screams in rage, his remaining 2 arms attacking with desperate fury. But Anakin is relentless. He flows through the attacks like water, his lightsaber finding every gap in Grievous's defense. The 3rd arm is severed, leaving Grievous with only 1 lightsaber. The general knows he's beaten. With a roar of defiance, he tries to flee. But Anakin doesn't let him. Using the Force, he tears open Grievous's chest plate, exposing the organic components inside. With a precise strike, he destroys the life support system. Grievous collapses, his mechanical body shutting down. His eyes flicker once, twice, and then go dark. The Supreme Commander of the droid army is dead. With Grievous's defeat, the remaining Separatist military forces surrender Within days, the war that consumed the galaxy for years finally comes to an end, not with a massive battle or dramatic confrontation, but with treaties and negotiations. The Clone Wars are over. The Republic begins the long process of rebuilding. Worlds, devastated by years of fighting, receive aid and support. The clone army, no longer needed for combat, begins transitioning to peacekeeping and reconstruction efforts. Many clones are given the option to retire, to receive citizenship, and start new lives. Some choose to remain in military service, but now as volunteers rather than property. Others leave to explore the galaxy, to find their own purposes and identities. But while the military and political crises are resolved, the Jedi Order faces its own reckoning. The revelation of how close they came to destruction, of how blind they were to Palpatine's presence, shakes the Order to its core. A full council meeting is called. Every Jedi Master who can reach Coruscant attends. They gather in the council chamber, the mood somber and reflective. Failed, we have. Master Yoda's voice is heavy with regret. Right under our noses, the Dark Lord of the Sith was. Clouded by the dark side, our vision became. Arrogant we were, thinking ourselves immune to such deception. Master Windu nods. We allowed ourselves to become too entangled with the Republic, too focused on politics and war. We lost sight of our true purpose: to serve the Force, to protect life, to be guardians of peace. Instead, we became generals and politicians, and we enforced rigid rules that may have caused more harm than good. Obi-Wan speaks up. Our prohibition against attachment, against love, it isolated Anakin, made him vulnerable to Palpatine's manipulation. If he had felt free to confide in us about his fears, about his visions, we might have discovered the truth earlier. The Council debates for hours. They examine every aspect of their failure, every decision that led them to this point. And slowly, painfully, they acknowledge that the Jedi Order must change. The code must be reconsidered. Attachment may not necessarily lead to the dark side. Fear of loss is the true danger, not love itself. They must be more transparent, less secretive. The practice of taking children from their families and forbidding contact must be reformed. Jedi should be allowed to know their families, to maintain those connections. They must withdraw from politics. The Jedi served as generals in the Clone Wars, out of necessity. But that role corrupted their purpose. They should return to being advisors and peacekeepers, not military commanders. They need better training in recognizing the dark side. Palpatine hid in plain sight because the Jedi had grown complacent. They must learn to be more vigilant, more aware. A new Grand Master must be chosen. Master Yoda volunteers to step down, believing fresh leadership is needed. But this decision is controversial. Many argue that Yoda's wisdom is still needed. Eventually, a compromise is reached. Master Yoda will remain on the council but share leadership responsibilities with a new Grand Master, chosen through election rather than appointment. The reforms begin slowly. The Jedi Code is revised, not abandoned, but reinterpreted. Attachment is no longer forbidden, though Jedi are still taught to guard against possessiveness and fear. Jedi are encouraged to maintain relationships with their families, to understand that love can be a source of strength rather than weakness. The Order begins recruiting older students, not just young children. They work more closely with local governments rather than the Senate. These changes are not universally popular. Some Jedi, particularly older masters, resist. They argue that the code has served for millennia and shouldn't be changed because of one crisis. But most recognize the need for evolution. The galaxy has changed, and the Jedi must change with it. Through all of this, Anakin faces his own reckoning. The Jedi Council convenes specifically to address his actions. He stands in the center of the chamber once again. But this time, the atmosphere is different. Not hostile, but evaluative. Young Skywalker, Master Yoda begins. Killed the Supreme Chancellor. You did. Against the Jedi Code. Such action is. Yet saved the Order. You also did. Difficult to judge. This situation, Anakin doesn't try to defend himself. He simply speaks the truth. Masters, I won't pretend what I did was perfect. I killed Palpatine when I might have been able to take him alive. I let my anger at his manipulation fuel me during the fight. I violated the code by marrying in secret, by allowing my fear for Padme to cloud my judgment. But I also won't apologize for loving her. She gave me strength when I needed it most. She helped me see through Palpatine's lies. Without her, I might have fallen. Mace Windu speaks next. The Council has debated your actions extensively. Some argue you should be expelled from the Order for your violations. Others believe you should be elevated for saving us all. The truth is probably somewhere in between. Your attachment to Senator Amidala may have saved us. Master Obi-Wan points this out. If you had been alone, isolated as the old code demanded, you might have been more vulnerable to Palpatine's seduction. Your love gave you something to fight for, beyond just duty. Reconsider our view on attachment. We must. Yoda agrees. Balance in all things. There should be. Love need not lead to darkness. Fear of loss, that is the true danger. And overcome this fear, you did. The Council reaches its decision. Anakin Skywalker is granted the rank of Jedi Master. Not despite his actions, but because of them. He showed wisdom in recognizing Palpatine's manipulation. He showed courage in investigating despite the risks. He showed trust in coming to the Council with his evidence. And most importantly, he showed the ability to face the ultimate temptation, the offer of power, to save someone he loved and choose the light. However, the Council also recognizes that Anakin has been through tremendous trauma, fighting and killing a man who was his mentor, learning that years of friendship were nothing but manipulation, nearly losing everything he cares about. These experiences will take time to process. With your permission, Master Skywalker. Master Yoda says formally, suggest we do that you take a leave of absence from active duty. Time to rest you need. Time with your wife and coming children. Time to find peace after the chaos. Anakin is surprised by how relieved he feels. Yes, Masters, I would like that. Thank you. The hearing ends, and Anakin walks out of the Council chamber a free man, free from Palpatine's manipulation, free from the secret of his marriage, free to finally be himself. Obi-Wan walks with him through the temple corridors. I'm proud of you, Anakin. His former master's voice is warm, truly proud. Not just for what you did, but for who you've become. You faced the greatest temptation imaginable, and chose the right path. I almost didn't. Anakin admits quietly. When Palpatine offered me the power to save Padme, part of me wanted to take it, wanted to learn the dark side, to do whatever it took. But you didn't. That's what matters. The strength to resist temptation is what defines us, not the absence of temptation itself. They walk in companionable silence for a moment before Obi-Wan speaks again. Padme is lucky to have you, and you're lucky to have her. Cherish that. Not many people find that kind of connection. I will. And Obi-Wan, thank you for believing in me, even when the Council didn't, for never giving up. Always, my friend. The days turn into weeks. The Republic settles into a new normal. Bail Organa of Alderaan is elected as the new Chancellor. He's a man of integrity and wisdom, someone respected across the political spectrum. His first acts are to reduce the emergency powers to restore civil liberties that were suspended during the war, and to begin reforming the bloated bureaucracy that enabled Palpatine's rise. The Jedi Order continues its transformation. More reforms are implemented, more old practices questioned and revised. It's a period of growth and self-reflection, painful but necessary. And on Naboo, in a private medical facility far from the chaos of Coruscant, Padme goes into labor. Anakin is by her side, holding her hand as the contractions intensify. He can feel her pain through their bond, can sense her fear and determination. The medical droids move efficiently, monitoring her vital signs and preparing for delivery. For a few hours, it's difficult. The labor is long and painful, just as Anakin's visions showed. Padme's strength begins to fade, and for a terrible moment, Anakin fears his nightmares are coming true. But then, with a final push and a cry of effort, their son is born. The medical droid cleans the infant and places him in Padme's arms. He's perfect, tiny and wrinkled, with a shock of light hair and eyes that will eventually turn blue like his father's. A boy, the droid announces. Healthy and strong. They name him Luke Skywalker. But the labor isn't over. A few minutes later, their daughter arrives. She's smaller than her brother, but just as perfect, with dark hair and her mother's features. A girl, also healthy. We'll name her Leia, Padme says softly, tears streaming down her face. Luke and Leia, our children. Anakin holds them both, one in each arm, and feels something inside him unlock. This is what he was fighting for. Not destiny or prophecy or the abstract concept of bringing balance to the Force, but this, his family, love, connection, hope. The visions that haunted him for months are gone completely now. The dark possible future has been averted. Padme is alive, healthy, holding their children. The nightmare didn't come true because he made different choices, because he chose light over darkness, truth over lies, trust over isolation. Obi-Wan visits a few days later, smiling as he looks at the twins. They're beautiful, Anakin. Both of them. You must be very proud. Terrified, mostly. Anakin admits with a laugh. I have no idea how to be a father, but I'm going to try my best. That's all any of us can do. Obi-Wan holds Luke carefully, marveling at the tiny life in his arms. You know, the Force is strong with them, both of them. I can feel it already. I know. Anakin looks at his children with wonder. Do you think they'll be Jedi? If they choose to be. But that will be their choice, not ours. The order has changed. We don't take children anymore without their families' consent. If Luke and Leia want to train as Jedi when they're older, we'll welcome them. But if they choose other paths, that's acceptable too. Good. Because I want them to have the childhood I never did. To know their parents, to have choices, to be free. They will be. Obi-Wan promises. The galaxy is changing, Anakin, because of you. Because of the choices you made. Months pass. The Republic continues its recovery. Investigations into Palpatine's conspirators continue, with more arrests and trials. The separatist worlds are gradually reintegrated into the Republic, with new treaties that address their grievances and grant them greater autonomy. The clone troopers transition into their new roles. Some become police officers, others teachers or engineers. Many start families, something they never dreamed possible when they were just property of the Republic. Commander Rex visits Anakin on Naboo, wanting to meet the children and thank the man who saved him and his brothers from becoming murderers. The Jedi Order completes its reorganization. Master Plo Koon is elected as the new Grand Master, working alongside Master Yoda. Together they guide the Order through its transformation, making it more open, more connected to the living force rather than dogma. And Anakin Skywalker, the Chosen One, finally finds peace. He spends his days with Padme and their children, teaching them about the Force as they grow. He consults with the Jedi Order on occasion, but doesn't return to active duty for several years. He's content to be a husband and father, to experience the life he always wanted but thought impossible. One evening, as the twin suns set over Naboo's lakes and meadows, Anakin stands on the balcony of their home. Luke and Leia, now toddlers, play at his feet. Padme joins him, slipping her arm around his waist. "What are you thinking about?" she asks. "Everything. How close we came to losing all of this. How different things could have been." He looks down at their children. "I had a vision once of a dark future where I became something terrible, where I lost you, where I lost myself. But it didn't happen because you made different choices." Padme says softly, "Because you chose love over fear. Because you trusted the people around you instead of letting yourself be isolated." I keep thinking about what Palpatine said, that I was destined to become Darth Vader, his apprentice. That future seemed so certain in my visions. And yet here I am. Here we are. Destiny isn't fixed. Obi-Wan told me once that the future is always in motion, shaped by the choices we make. You were shown a dark path, but you chose to walk a different one. Anakin watches Luke chase after a butterfly, while Leia tries to use the Force to pull a toy toward herself. She's too young to succeed, but the attempt makes him smile. I wonder sometimes what would have happened if I'd made different choices. If I'd given in to my fear, to Palpatine's temptations, you'd have become Darth Vader, and I'd have died, and our children would have grown up without parents, in a galaxy ruled by the Empire. But that's not what happened. No, it's not. He pulls Padme closer. We changed the story. We chose a better path, and I'm grateful every day for that choice. Luke runs up to them, his small hand tugging on Anakin's robe. "Daddy, look!" He points at the sky where the first stars are beginning to appear. So many stars. There are Anakin lifts his sun up. Billions of stars. Each one might have planets around them. Worlds we've never seen. People we've never met. Someday, if you want, we can visit some of them together. Really? Luke's eyes shine with wonder. Really? The galaxy is vast and full of possibilities. You and your sister will have so many choices in your lives, so many paths you could walk. And whatever you choose, your mother and I will support you. Leia joins them, and Anakin lifts her too. One child in each arm. He stands there with his family, looking out at the stars, and feels complete. The prophecy spoke of the chosen one bringing balance to the Force. For years, he thought that meant destroying the Sith, that it required some grand destiny or dramatic sacrifice. But now, he understands. Balance isn't about destroying the darkness. It's about choosing the light when faced with darkness. It's about love triumphing over fear, trust overcoming isolation, hope defeating despair. In another timeline, he became Darth Vader. He fell to the dark side, killed the people he loved, and helped establish an empire that ruled through fear and oppression. It took 20 years and the love of his son to finally redeem him, to bring him back to the light before his death. But in this timeline, he found his redemption before the fall. He faced the same temptations, the same fears, the same offers of power. But he made different choices. He trusted his friends. He investigated rather than accepting easy answers. He chose the difficult path of truth over the simple path of power. And because of those choices, the galaxy is different. The Clone Wars ended not with Order 66 and the fall of the Jedi, but with peace and reform. The Republic remains a democracy, flawed but free. The Jedi Order survives, transformed and stronger for acknowledging its failures. The clones are free, able to choose their own destinies. Padme lives. Their children grow up knowing both parents. As night falls fully on Naboo, Anakin carries his children inside. He tucks them into bed, telling them stories of his adventures during the war, carefully edited to be appropriate for young children. When they finally fall asleep, he joins Padme in their room. She's reading a data pad, reviewing proposed legislation. She never stopped being a senator, never stopped fighting for what she believes in. But now she doesn't have to hide her family. Now she can be both a public servant and a mother, a senator and a wife. He was always meant to bring balance to the Force, but not through destruction, through choice, through love, through proving that even when faced with darkness, even when offered everything you desire, it's possible to choose the light. That's our theory. The Star Wars universe is a galaxy filled with exciting stories and possibilities, and we love exploring them. If you want to accompany us on this journey to a galaxy far, far away, then please like, share, and subscribe to our channel.